So we have a new SOS boss, which is this flying snake thing, which I will not pronounce his name. So the special effect here is when you do weakness damage, you get final damage increase. It's up to 40%, 8 times 5. It's pretty huge. And the boss gimmick itself, nothing much really. They just share the soul link, so the damage are shared. And then they take more damage from gun, so HARU. This week's, or I guess this update's SOS is very weird, because both the sides want Non-SMoko, Core and Futaba, because the other side is Mesa, right? So it becomes a little bit complicated, and when you look at the rankings, you can see that everybody is using different stuff, especially for the second side. A lot of different teams. I think I've seen some Morgana also, I think, because Morgana can use like a lucky punch to remove the stack from Titania. So it's interesting. I myself have tested over 15 teams across these two sites, and this is what I end up with. Unfortunately, for me, or for my account, I all in on this side. So Non-SMoko, Core and Futaba, all in everything here. The other side, which is Mesa, doesn't score as high as HARU. So we have HARU, she's running Wisdom Pleasure, she got 5-star weapon, stat screen. Then our healer and enabler, HARU enabler is Moko, is running Harmony and Power for the attack buff and the psychic damage buff to HARU, and 4-star weapon, stat screen. Then we got Core, is running the standard stuff, Trust Prosperity, 5-star weapon, stat screen. Our navigator Futaba, she's gonna run Integrity and Labor, 5-star weapon, stat screen. I'm not running Resolve Labor because Resolve Labor only targets one opponent, so it's not really useful here. The defense debuff is nice, but it's 10%, only for one target. Not really worth it, I think. But yeah, for Dagger, obviously Starry Compass, no question. I don't think it's even debatable. Now for Persona, you will notice that I'm not even using Shiva here, because I have a hot take here. Shiva is not that good. So let me just do a quick comparison. So if you look at Shiva's buffs, right? Shiva only really has 2 buffs. They debuff defense by 30% and increase crit rate taken by 12%. Now if you use 2 other personas to replace Shiva, which is what I'm doing here, I'm using Vishnu and Dionysus to replace Shiva. So Dionysus, let's just say even at 0 overclock, or overclock 1, he debuffs defense by 32%. Dionysus can use Revolution, and he can buff crit rate up to 10.9%, and his passive buffs crit damage by 30%. And not just that, Shiva's buffs only last for 1 turn, Vishnu lasts for 2 turns, Revolution lasts for 3 turns, and crit damage lasts for 2 turns. And by comparing these two side by side, I don't think I need to tell you which one is better, right? I have tested it myself, combo is better, but only for SOS. Why is that? It's because to activate Shiva's passive, you have to use his signature skill, which does damage. But for SOS, you do not get extra multipliers from Wonder's DPS. But for Guild Boss, let's say MLD, so at turn 3 you get 1.5 times the points, and turn 6 you get 2 times the points. And for DOD, during the weakened state, you get 3 times the points, which makes Shiva slightly better in Guild Bosses than SOS. So yeah, the personas I'll be using is Dionysus for Revolution and Vishnu for Magarodine for the Windswept. Mine is max overclock, so if you don't have him or you don't want to max overclock, you can just use Third Maragunda. You get slightly less points, maybe like a couple million less, but it's not like a big difference. Then the last persona is for static. We're not going to use this persona. For turn order, ideally Wonder first, and then Non-SMoko, Core, HARU. Wonder first so that the Revolution that the Wonder users can also buff Moko, and Moko's damage is multiplied because of the stage effect thing, right? But only her skill 3, I believe her resonance doesn't even activated because it's not really considered psychic damage. First turn, you use Rebellion of HARU. And Moko skill 2 on HARU. Core skill 2. Then we use HARU skill 1. Get the target audience and stuff, and some buffs for the gun. This stage does pretty like big damage, so it'll be a little bit lucky, a bit of luck involved. You might need 1 or 2 tries, if it's especially using Moko, because Moko's healing is not that strong compared to Marion or Cherish. And skill 1 with Futaba. And we do Vishnu Magarodine. Pray for Windswept. 4 out of 5, that's pretty good. I'll take it. Then we do skill 3 Moko. Then we do HARU highlight here. So this stage's effect, special effect is final damage. So if you hit weakness damage, you get final damage. So HARU should have 8 times 5, which is 40%, which is a pretty big buff. And with skill 1, make sure you target the one that's been swept and not the main boss. But actually I don't think it matters much because it's Soul Link. Yeah. Now we do skill 3 from HARU. Okay, decent damage. Now just pray that nobody attacks the same character like 3 or 4 times in a row, because that will kill you. Okay, we should be fine here. Even Cherisher's shield cannot defend like 4 attacks in a row on the same character. It has happened to me. It was very stupid. Yeah, skill 3 for Tava. Now we do Revolution on Dionysus. Get a crit buff, crit rate and crit damage buff. If using Shiva here, you don't have crit damage buff. Then we Non-SMoko skill 2 because Shiva doesn't buff crit damage, only crit rate and defense debuff. And defense debuff we already have Vishnu to cover. 1% damage here. Non-SMoko skill 3. Okay, decent. Can hit 1 million? Nope. Then we use gun. Moko can also do some decent damage here because you to Sai and her multipliers also count as the, psychic damage. So 3 times more points from her. This stage they uses electric break, which is like a free turn here because they don't damage you at all. Then we do a buff highlight from Dionysus. Here we go, Rebellion. Non-SMoko skill 3. Core skill 2. And HARU skill 1. They'll get a buff again. We should be fine. Now with Utaba skill 1. Debuff defense. Activate the Dust Storm. Then with Vishnu. Pray for Insert. Ooh, pretty good. 4 out of 5 again. Then with skill 2 Moko. Then Code skill 1, attack the Windswept. And Code highlight. HARU skill 3. He should hit over 1 million. Yep, okay, very good. Again, just pray that they don't attack the same character like 3 or 4 times in a row. Okay, we should be fine now. Yeah, you see what I mean? That's 2 on Moko. If another 2, we should be in danger. Then we Futaba skill 3. And then Revolution. Do the buff. Then skill 3. 400,000 damage is 300,000 points, which is a decent amount. Then skill 3 code. Okay, decent. Chip 950k. Oh, almost 1 million, that's good. Then HARU highlight. Okay, then final gun. Let's go. 1.4 million, that's pretty good. Final score should be 30 million, 31.5, that's decent. So I have a few rotations to show you guys. The first one is using Marion over SMoko. The rotation is pretty much the same as the one in the video. The only difference is putting Marion here, of course. Then you get 26.3 from this rotation, which is like 5 million less, which is pretty significant. Which makes sense because Haru and Moko works very well together. The other rotation is with Cherish. It's also pretty much the same as Marion and the SMoko rotation, just Cherish and 313131. This one got slightly higher than Marion, which is not really surprising at this point because if you've watched my previous few videos, Cherish outperformed Marion most of the time, even though it's only by a little bit. And this is the rotation for this video.